Hi everyone, welcome to the first part of my maintenance series. Now, as you can see, I'm in the garage and we're going to start off with what is probably the most important part of any service, which is the oil change. Now, the service intervals are 6,000 miles or every year, whichever comes sooner. Now, I've had this bike about 6 months, but I'm going to actually change the oil every 6 months. It's 6-7 years old now, and I think the oil change being the most important part, this is probably the best way to go. So I've already been out on the bike and warmed it up, so hence why you'll probably see it's a little bit dirty. Now, it shouldn't be too bad. I've already got all my tools out. I've bought a new oil filter. I bought a K&N filter, not a Triumph one, and I've been over to Triumph this morning and got the sealing washer, the crush washer for the actual sump plug. So we're just going to go through it stage by stage. Now, I will point out that the reason for oil change being so important, especially on motorbikes as opposed possibly to cars, is that most bikes have what's called a wet sump, or sorry, a wet clutch. So the engine oil is used for the clutch as well, and hence why it can deteriorate. So you can't change the oil enough, really. You know, I think some people probably do it every 3 months or every few thousand miles. I think I've done about maybe 2,500 miles on this bike since I've had it in the 6 months, mainly because most of the time I've had it has been winter. So yeah, so it's just coming up to the beginning of February, so I'm going to be doing this now, and then I'll set a reminder on my calendar to do it again in 6 months' time. So yeah, so stay tuned. This is the first part of probably about 4 or 5 parts: oil filter, air filter, chapter plugs, brakes, brake fluid, and everything like that. So I'll go through it step by step. If there's any questions, then leave me a comment. See how we get on. So, as I say, the first step's probably going to be I need to just take off the belly pan, and the bike's already warmed up. So here we go. As you can see, I've got the bikes up on the stand, so because it's still nice and warm, I'm gonna get the sump plug out, which I think is something. It's not 17 mil, it's about 13 mil. Which it is. So you can probably see that quite clearly. Just for a few minutes, get as much out as possible, and then the next thing to do will be to take off the oil filter. because it's, you can tell because it's nice and warm, should just run out nice and easily. And the fact that it's on the stand means the bike is leaning forward very slightly as well. So. Okay, so what we need to do now is take off the oil filter. Now, sometimes they're actually quite loose. No, it's not going to do it. So, I'm going to try a little trick using a belt. Try not to get and there it goes. So you just get the belt on it, more like that, and you can just see it's starting to move. It should. And there we go. That's enough. A little old trick we used to use on cars, that one. I can put my belt back on now. Out as much as I can. Something I should have done actually is taken the drain, the filler cap off. Which is that, and also the dipstick, which is there. Crush washer on, so you can see these here. So that's the sump plug, and that's the old one. And there's a nice new one, so that could be thrown away. It's ready to go back on. Then we have I've actually got a K&N filter. Put it off there so you can see. Should I'll just double check. That's the original Triumph one, and then the K&N one. So it should just be a straight fit. The good thing about the K&N ones is that they actually have a nut welded onto the bottom there, so one for fitting it, and two, it's going to make it a lot easier to take it off. Right, so now we're quite happy that the oil has drained out enough. So first thing to do would be to put the sump plug back in, say with the new washer on it. That now, there is actually a setting for the torque on it, but I'm just going to tighten it for now, and then I will double check all the torque settings once I've finished. It doesn't need to be too tight. I think it's something like about 25 newton meters, but double check that. So then the next thing we need to do is put the filter on. Now, in order to get a good seal, what we do is just get a little bit of oil, put it on there, put it around the actual, so it doesn't matter if you get too much oil in there, the actual filter is just going to fill up in a bit anyway. Get that on there, and then that should just screw straight on there. Now I would guess it's going to be, no, of course that would be too easy. It's a 17. It's a 17. Oil from dry with filter, I think, I'm just going to double check, 3.7 litres I believe, capacity, dry engine, 3.5 litres. Wet fill. So it is a wet fill with a new filter, so that's 3.1 litres. So let's see. So there. One, so the second one. Two. Now it said 3.1 wet fill with new filter. So I'm going to put most of this one in, and then I'm going to check it. Majority of that one. Just going to let that settle down a little bit. we're going to start it now. Because then I can check for leaks as well. Okay, so that's the oil change completely finished. So the next one I think I'm going to do is the air filter. So if you'd like to stay tuned to the series, then please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the videos, or to the channel I should say, and hopefully follow me along while I do the complete service on the street triple. Thanks for watching.